Hi everyone. So, round 1 was a little disaster, but there is 10 more tough and complex games to go yet. But I was actually given a 1994 FIDE in round 2 called Michael Stinton-Brownbridge, but his ECF is only 158, which, although it's still higher than mine, it means that if I can get a draw with someone, which is more than possible, then my FIDE will go shooting up through the roof, which would be very good. But when I looked him up, he plays all sorts of stuff, mainly Caracan, but also Sicilian and Scandinavian. So I couldn't be bothered prepping, so he plays D4 and E4 as white as well. It's just too much to prep for. Not good, man. So before the game, I just chilled and watched the morning games as usual, and approached the game in a positive manner. And my current Facebook profile picture as of 12th of August 2013 is taken from my game against him, if you are interested and also lucky enough to be friends with me on Facebook. Okay, 1e4 I played. Now I expected Caracan, but of course they always never play what I expect. And of course I play this move. But he played c5, so I played the c3 Sicilian. And he played g6, which is the same as my game against Paul Kemp, so we continue that. I played d4, taking the centre and establishing 2 pawns at the centre. And now we see the point cd, cd and d5, where of course I've got the 2 options now. I either play a double isolated pawn position by taking, or I play e5 and risk having my d4 point hacked off the board, as explained in the game against Paul Kemp. Before you switch off, by the way, this game is a little bit more exciting and does not come with free pillow, I'm afraid. I played e takes d5. He played knight f6, so he knows his theory, this guy. Bishop b5 check. Bd7. Again, Kemp, remember, if you remember correctly, plays this move. And then we get this d6 stuff. And then we get this. It's just in line, which is about equal, but maybe white has the easier game. So bishop d7 now. I think this is inferior, this, because now I play bishop c4, and although I can't actually keep the pawn because black can easily play moves to regain it, it's actually quite awkward to get back, because when you think about it, I'm protecting the pawn, and how does black attack it again? If he plays queen a5 check, I play knight c3. His standard manoeuvre is knight d7 to b6, but you can't play that, can you, when the bishop's in the way? And I think, although it's playable, I think bishop d7 is inferior in my opinion, because maybe I can use the time it takes to regain the pawn to get my pieces into good squares. And the main move is to play b5. I drop the bishop back to keep hold of the pawn. Then he can play a5, trying to get the initiative on queen side. I fell into boot my bishop away, which I think I should just let him do and develop. And then a4, bishop c2, knight takes d5, knight c3, take, bishop g7. This is a sample continuation. Then bishop f4, and black's queen side is overextended. He's had to extend his queen side to get his pawn back, and white stands a little bit better. And this game will not be boring, unlike the game in the rapid. But now he played bishop g4. And I was like, surely this is bad. This commits the cardinal sin of moving the same piece twice in the open. I mean, he just played bishop d7. I mean, I could have played bishop b5 and bishop d4, but the problem is now it's forcing my queen to a good square and leaves the b7 pawn chronically undefended. Because of course now I play queen b3. And I think no, it's not quite yet actually. But basically I'm protecting my d5 point, and I know my opponent I'm playing is a very fast player actually. I actually made me think for 10 minutes, which is impressive given the speed, intense speed which he plays at. And he played queen c8, which protects the pawn, but also takes the pressure off the d5 point. Maybe the pawn can be sacrificed with knight bd7. So, because if I take it, rook b8, queen takes a7, so I am 3 pawns up. But now queen c8 gets played, and in fact my bishops have been skewered to one another, So I've got to play this like Queen a6, and then you can take this pawn because I can't take back because it'll lose. I drop a bishop with checkmate, so I lose a bishop and my king. And then Queen takes c8, Rook takes c8, Knight a3. And after Knight b4, Black's got tremendous compensation for the 2 pawns. Where all my pieces are sitting on their boxes, and Black's pieces are hungry and ready to devour and help us White king. So maybe after Knight bd7 I should just ignore the pawn and continue developing. Maybe f3, bishop moves somewhere, and then maybe even go crazy with g4, just play Knight c3 to protect the pawn, and White stands better. But he plays Queen c8, and now this is, as I'm playing the next move, Knight c3, that's where my Facebook profile picture is from. So, and of course that's the best move. It protects the pawn again, it develops a piece. I mean, what more do you want in life? And I'm already over plus up on Rybka. Of course there's potential ideas of playing d6, unleashing an attack on f7, but in this position bishop e6 seems adequate because I can't play d5. So my point is with Knight c3 I'm actually going to play d6 next move, because bishop e6 can be answered by d5 because I've got another piece in it. And I play bishop g7. So now if it's Black's turn again, and if I let him castle, I think Black's fine then, perhaps potentially. I mean, he'll probably regain the d5 point eventually. So of course I play d6. Try and get f7. So if e takes d6, I play bishop takes f7 check, king e7. Now my pawn up, I've lost my pawn I'm probably going to lose and gain one of Black's pawns. It stops him castling, and I play knight g2 and slowly develop and crash his king in the centre. So what alternatives? If e6 is played to try and shut the diagonal down, the problem is f3 and the bishop ends up trapped, so that fails. So the alternative is to castle out of it. I take an e7, and now he has to. The problem is if he moves his rook now, say if he moves his rook to e8, then we've got this. He just wins. So he has to play queen e8, which pins the pawn to the rook, sorry, the king. But now my P of a brain said, all I need to do now is block the e file once, and I win a full rook. But I realised if I play something like queen a3 in this position, protecting the pawn, he just plays knight c6. So I decided, I worked out that I can't actually protect the e pawn, he's going to get out with it, so I thought I'll take another pawn, so I play queen takes b7. So now 2 knight moves for Black in this position. This is the critical position. What would you play? Pause the video. Well, the correct move is knight c6, and the sad thing is I can't protect the e pawn again, and this pawn actually goes with check and gets the queens off. I mean, I'll still be 2 pawns up with a good position, but because the point is this doesn't actually work because he goes with check, but it's probably best actually. And then Black is nowhere near the compensation for 2 pawns in this position, and White will probably still win. But my opponent played knight bd7, and now White to play and find the winning move. Quite simple, just queen b4. It took me quite a while to find it actually. I was just going to castle and try and win 2 pawns up, but I realised I can actually protect the pawn by force. And now the only move in this position, well, I played rook b8, so I have to play queen a3 to keep on it. The only move is king h8 to free the rook. So after I block the file, you can play rook g8. But of course I'm still 3 pawns up with a dangerous pawn that could queen any second if it's tight, he completely ties his queen down. So it's still an easy win. For some reason he plays rook b6, and I just realised all I've got to do is block the file, so I blocked it. Nothing can be done, it's lost. You play the cheaper bishop takes e2, hoping I'll take the rook, because then he takes Because if I grab the rook immediately, I lose. Because the problem is he plays bishop takes f8 and he's on my queen. I'm threatening a discovery. Not good. But I play bishop takes e2, keeping the e-file blocked. There's nothing that can be done. He tries to get some key plays on his spite. I take the material, beat with the queen. I can also grab an a7, it's perfectly safe, but I just thought castle as fast as possible, just stop any counterplay. Rook to b6, queen c2, thanks very much. Now I'm protecting e2. Bishop d6. I played bishop e3 and I lashed out of h5, which is another terrible move, as you're going to see. I castled the queen side in the end, which looks a bit reckless, but it's got nothing near my king. a5 doesn't even do anything. Now I played bishop c4. The point is now next move I'm going to play bishop b3 just to stop a4 for good and win easily, but he actually completely goes crazy and misses the threat, and that's why I played queen takes g6 check, and he threw in the towel because now it's now about plus 14 on Rybka. And wow, that was not bad. I mean, he did play very poorly, but knocking out nearly 2000 FIDE in 23 moves is pretty impressive, and gave me the confidence to hack more strong players up. And also shows that maybe the C3 Sicilian is not a draw after all. After my previous games are all like draw. And hopefully it gives me more confidence to take on the Sicilian. So yeah, we're 1 out of 2 now. I hope you enjoyed this game, and round 3 will see me against a guy I've played several times before, all with the same results. So stay tuned for more, and please leave any comments and thoughts. Thanks very much.